Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes Reacts. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Morrissey.
Miserable bastard. You need to cheer up a bit.
That's me.
We are the Office Blokes and we have a Patreon page.
We do have a Patreon page. Go on patreon.com. If you want to help support our channel, it would be absolutely fantastic. We've got loads of people doing it already and it's been absolutely wonderful. We've got loads of content there, starting just £1.50. Block content, exclusive videos, so go down there and check it out.
Yeah, good stuff. And we have two other channels that Office Bloke Dad on Instagram is going to tell you all about.
Cheers, Office Bloke Dave on Instagram. Also, right. Abu Dhabi Daz on Twitter.
Yeah, Bloke Office on Twitter.
Strange one, but anyway.
I know. Just wait until I get my
Office Bloke not available.
Just wait until I get my personal reg plate.
Is that the one I switch you on to?
It is, yeah. Yeah, not yet though.
Yeah, and we've got Office Blokes Try, where we try different things from around the world, and we've got Office Blokes Podcasts, where we do a couple of podcasts every week. And coming soon to Office Blokes Podcast is Office Blokes Confidential.
Yep, Office Blokes Confidential is the new and completely original idea thought up with the brains of the Office Blokes, where we're going to take viewer submissions, and you can email us, you can send us videos, you can DM us, you can do whatever you want, tag us on social media with your issues. So issues in your personal life, dramas you may have, dilemmas in your personal life, and if you want the advice of three proper office blokes, our funny take on it.
Absolutely.
A bit of fun. Not? Yeah, whether you listen to our advice or not is a different thing, but we've got a wealth of knowledge between the three of us.
If I would.
There is literally 300 years worth of knowledge between the three of us. I mean, we're still pretty young. But
Mike takes up to 280. Yeah. Mike was older than Prince Philip.
Was.
Don't look too bad, but no, really.
Yeah, anyway, so that's going to be on our podcast channel, so Office Blokes Podcast on YouTube. And if you want to submit questions or dilemmas or whatever, Office Bloke Podcast at YouTube. Office Blokes Podcast at gmail.com. I was getting good at that until that little slip up.
I'm trying to end up on Mike's age.
I'm trying to end up on TV. That's what it is. I'm trying to get good at the words.
Just start
good at the words.
Just commit a major crime, you'd be straight on TV
again. Anyway, so mass hysteria throughout history from the Sam O'Nella Academy. We stumbled upon this guy's channel, didn't we?
He's good. We did. Very funny.
Absolutely hilarious. But then it turns out he's got a proper cult following.
Oh, really?
The amount of people in the comment section saying, I can't believe you've got around to Sam O'Nella. He's amazing. He's my favourite channel.
Sam O'Nella or Salmonella?
Salmonella, yeah, I think that probably is the joke.
Words.
Yeah,
I would guess so.
Yeah, so this one just had a great title: Mass Hysteria Throughout History.
So it could be anything. This.
That's why I was. That's why I was Morrissey.
Yeah, Panic.
Yeah, I didn't realise that was
Panic
Morrissey.
In the streets of London.
It's called Panic.
Was it? Yeah,
the song.
So not Hysteria. It was called Panic. I couldn't think of a song called Hysteria.
No, there's no song called Mass Hysteria throughout history.
There's a song called Mass Hypnosis.
Well, that was fucking what point's that then? Doesn't matter, does it? Who sings that? Morrissey.
Sepultura.
I think we're going slight off the point here.
Yeah, so we'll get into it. Mass Hysteria Throughout History, Sam O'Nella Academy.
Hey kids, if you've ever been Black Friday shopping or visited the Diablo subreddit recently, chances are you've encountered mass hysteria at some point. Mass hysteria is known medically as mass psychogenic illness, or MPI for short. It's basically just when a bunch of people start acting a fool for no discernible reason other than maybe a stressful environment. Being that this sort of thing is naturally very noticeable, there's loads of documented cases found all throughout history. Let's take a look at a few. This first one is what made me make this video in the first place. So one day sometime in the Middle Ages, a group of nuns in a French convent were enjoying a quiet, uneventful day, until one of them decided to start meowing.
This happened to me when I did a Russian sleep experiment.
Oh, did it?
Just weird shit started happening.
Yeah. You started ripping your own body parts off and stuff, didn't you? Okay.
True story.
Weird.
No, like a cat. You'd think this would last all of 4 seconds before another nun was like, "Excuse me, Sister Gertrude, would you kindly cut the shit?" But instead, another nun joined in, and another, until basically the entire nunnery was exchanging.
So wait a minute, loads of celibate women in a room together that possibly may or may not need to get some dick in their life, or start meowing like cats.
Pussycats.
Yeah, a bit weird.
It makes perfect sense to me. Because if they weren't nuns, they would all live at home with their cats.
How do you know there wasn't a question that preceded the first one to start meowing? Like, can you open the window? And she said, meow.
With your feet, how else?
Mows like a group of communist trading card enthusiasts. This wasn't just a one-time thing either, it basically became integrated into their way of life. It's said that on a given day, they would stand there meowing in each other's faces for hours at a time. Could you imagine being the first outsider to witness this? You might laugh now, but as they say, everybody gangsta till the nuns start meowing. I'd void my bowels and move to Malaysia without even thinking. Miles more terrifying than this pile of garbage. As you can imagine though, after a while it stopped being scary and just got annoying, leading to the neighbors calling in a band of soldiers to deal with the situation. Hey guys, can we talk to you for a sec about Yeah, that. All due respect, but we have orders to literally beat the hell out of you with whips till you start acting like people again. Sorry, sir. It's just force of habit. Haha, habit. Seriously though, we would rather go to hell for throttling a gaggle of nuns than put up with another minute of your bullshit, caprese. Our next event took place in the parish of Fatima, Portugal in the year 1917. It all started with 3 shepherd children, ages 10, 9, and 7 respectively. They were like, "Greetings, fellow Portugueseites. We've been seeing visions of the Virgin Mary, and she told us to tell you that some real crazy shit's gonna go down in the sky on October 13th. Now, if 3 random farm children started spouting out prophecies to the public today, you'd say, "Ha, what tomfoolery. Go play in some dirt, you dirty little dirt baby." But keep in mind, the past is a different country. And Portugal's a different country. So that's like different country squared you gotta think about. Plus this was during World War I, a time where a lot of people were holding out for a miracle to begin with. So the kid's story was actually picked up and even spread by local newspapers, to the point where, when the day finally came, at least 30,000 people gathered in Fatima to witness the alleged miracle. Lo and behold, on that day, the sun began zooming around, careening towards Earth and sending rays of multicolored light cascading across the sky, creating a light show like nobody's ever seen. Keep in mind, this happened in the 20th century, way after the era where belief in divine jiggery and or pokery was considered mandatory. So naturally, there were plenty of skeptics and non-believers present, and even they saw it all happen. Or so they thought. How do we know the sun didn't really whiz around haphazardly that day, Well, number 1, use your frickin' brain. And number 2, accounts differed wildly from person to person. While some say the sun zigged hither, others say it zagged thither, and others still said it shined a brilliant yellow and stayed perfectly still. As such, it was eventually concluded that the event was just a combination of MPI and weird eye stuff from too much sun staring. Although I'd like to believe it was real, just that Jesus' illusion skill was way higher than his alteration at the time. Yep, that's it.
You know what? I didn't know what to expect with this, but for a start, the guy's an absolute genius.
I think he's a top comedian.
Yeah, he's funny.
But you think about mass hysteria, and then you see like video footage of girls watching the Beatles and stuff years ago, like when you were about 30, about 30.
About 30, 40.
Yeah, and that's mass hysteria,
He was in the Beatles,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And same
Pete
with
Best.
Who's Pete Best?
Drummer
the Beatles.
that got sacked.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was too shit to be in the Beatles, so they got
George Best.
Well, they always said Ringo Starr wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because he was shit as well.
Anyway. But yeah, I was just thinking, like, more modern examples is like girls watching One Direction or something like that, where everyone's just
BTS.
screaming.
Yeah.
I've never seen footage of people watching BTS. So
I've only seen BTS once, and they were in a car with James Corden,
yeah.
and one of them was screaming.
Sam's going to hell. Why, for blasphemy? Trust me, that was the least offensive part of that joke. Our next tale took place in 1962 in Tanganyika, which was basically just the beta version of Tanzania. The nation had just declared its independence from Britain the previous year, and with the future so uncertain, tensions were naturally running high around this time. One little girl in a Tanganyikan school ended up handling the stress in a bit of an unusual way. Rather than overeating or staring at her ceiling for hours like a normal person, she just started laughing, and laughing, and laughing. Pretty soon, her classmates at the all-girls school she attended began to join in, to the point where 95 of the 159 students caught the gigglies, which lasted anywhere from a few hours to 16 days straight.
Whoa.
Beyond just the unprovoked cackling, other odd behavior included aimless running and occasional violence. The problem got...
There's definitely drugs involved there.
There must have been. I mean, come on.
Kids are weird, though. They're so susceptible to suggestion, aren't they, that if 10 kids are laughing and one isn't, that kid is going to start laughing.
Well, laughing's contagious, isn't it?
It is, apparently.
It can be.
Yeah.
severe that the school was forced to close down temporarily, leading to the chortlers roaming the streets, spreading the affliction further. Thousands of people from all strata came to be affected, with 13 additional schools being shut down in the progress. Over the course of the hysteria, several other symptoms began to present themselves as well, ranging from obvious ones such as breathing problems, fainting, random screaming, to more anomalous things like rashes. Despite all this, no physical cause could be found, leaving MPI as the only explanation. The epidemic finally died down after between 6 and 18 months of day in, day out laughter, depending on the village. While this whole thing likely sucked for most people involved, it probably could have been worse. A lot of the time when I'm alone, I'll think to myself, man, if I ever go full schizo, I hope I'm one of the laughy ones, not one of the screamy ones. With this story in mind, just maybe, if I put my mind to it and believe hard enough, I can be both. Flashback to the year 1518 to the city of Strasbourg, at the time part of the HRE. A woman named Mrs. Trophy began fervently dancing in the streets for no discernible reason, for hours, then days. All without music, of course. Her only breaks consisted of occasional food intake and passing out from exhaustion when night came. If you saw that today, you'd just be like, huh, drugs. But apparently people found it pretty inspiring, because within a week, 34 others had joined in, and after a month, there were around 400. This wasn't your casual bobbing up and down neither. This shit made Zumba look like Tai Chi. Here's the best modern day simulation I could find. Now imagine that both of those people were the same person and you got the dancing plague. This would take a toll on any healthy person, let alone a medieval city dweller. But despite bleeding feet and aching bones, they just kept going. In fact, they went so hard for so long that a good portion straight up fucking died from cardiac arrest. It got to the point where around 15 dancers were kicking the bucket every day before the city decided they had to do something about it. They managed to rule out any divine or supernatural causes, which was necessary just because, back in medieval times, it was fucking stupid. They eventually surmised that it was a natural disease caused by too much hot blood, as per that whole four humors thing that was popular at the time. As for a cure, their prescription was, get this, more dancing. I can see where they were coming from. It's pretty sound logic. If you got a song stuck in your head, you play it till you're sick of it, same kind of thing. But here's where they goofed. The authorities actually went out of their way to facilitate the dancing, setting up a big stage area and even hiring musicians to keep the afflicted moving. All this achieved was attracting more passerby who were like, man, mass psychogenic illness looks frickin' epic, let's get in on that, causing the contagion to become even more widespread. Seeing that their solution backfired, the city then went the other way and completely banned any public dancing. Those who still showed signs of the mania were subsequently carted off to the Shrine of St. Vitus, where an exorcism-like ritual was performed on them. This ended up being highly effective, presumably for no other reason than that the dancers believed it would work, and after nearly 2 months, the plague was quelled. While this whole thing was most likely a case of good old-fashioned MPI, some historians believe it might have been egged on in part by ergotism, a state of psychosis brought on by eating tainted bread, which I talked a little bit about in this video. Ding. And hey, while I'm shilling for my channel, I might as well give a shout out to another as well. Today's video is sponsored by Cheddar, a network focused on producing fascinating content covering topics like technology, products, businesses, and the like through the lens of innovation. Here's one about desire paths, like those lines.
Then we're done.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That guy is so funny. He's a comedian, isn't he?
It's the bits he puts on in it.
He's a
little snide
clever
comments
guy,
on the
isn't he?
side.
Yeah,
funny.
definitely. No, he's funny. He's really funny.
What is comedy, really?
Something that makes you laugh, I think.
Absolutely.
Could be anything.
You look at Dave Gorman, is it? It is Dave Gorman, isn't it? That did Google Whack and things like that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He can go on stage with essentially a spreadsheet and a little button and just click through, and it's a whole hour-and-a-half comedy set. If you've never seen Google
Not
Whack,
seen it.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
It's really clever comedy.
Yeah.
It's basically where you Google 2 random words together and only get one result. And it's almost impossible to do. And it's got this whole big bit, like hour-and-a-half, I think it is, of just him talking about trying to get a Google Whack and then the journey that he goes on. It's crazy. It's really worth a go.
Have a look.
Sounds interesting, that.
Yeah, but it's just that that's what made me think of it, because he's just got the kind of imagery, and then he's just kind of telling stories but cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And it's pure comedy, isn't it? It's amazing.
The images are great. It's simple stuff, isn't it? But it's really effective, isn't it?
That is what the internet is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I think if anyone can make us laugh,
Yeah.
in these day and age. That's what we're all
Good on
about.
him.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah. Hope you guys like that too. Don't forget like and subscribe, and also head over to Instagram where you can find Office Bloke Daz on Instagram, and Office Bloke Dave on Instagram. It's true. And follow us. Why not? You might get some content on there that you don't see on here.
That's also true, actually.
And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.